Okay, you're watching this video because you just got handed this plan that says Herringbone Box, and you took a couple flips through these pages and realized, wow, that's a lot to go through. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into a couple of different video segments, and we're going to walk you through the construction of this box. I'm not necessarily going to solve every problem for you, but we're going to go through a lot of it together. Okay, and the first thing I notice when I look at this, there's a lot going on here. It's not just four sides of a box, a top and a bottom. We've got this thing right here that's called a herringbone pattern that makes that V right there. And then we also have these miter keys that we've put in to reinforce those corner joints. But notice those are also at an angle. I decided to throw that in just to keep it interesting. And then we've got some shaping to do here. Looking at the inside of the box, when you look at this piece here, just one piece, one side piece has a lot of cuts on it. You've got this top rabbet here, you've got a dado cut here for the bottom panel, and you also have this little cutout here that's so the box can open. What I'm going to do actually before we start, because of this assembly being somewhat complex, I'm actually going to get just a piece of scrap wood, and we're going to work through the carcase construction. The carcase is the four sides that make the box. We're going to do that just with scrap. We're going to do every step with scrap wood first, and then we're going to transition to this just so you can see the different steps. Okay, so right off the bat, I know when I'm looking at my dimensions, I'm going to flip around here until I find one I like. Here we go. Page 1 has the length of the box is 9 inches by 5.5 inches, and I need the height, which is going to be right here, 3 3/8. Okay, so let's see here, 9 plus 5, that's 14, 15, so I need something at least 15 inches long. That'll do with some extra. And 3 3/8, and you can see where this has been glued together. We're going to work around those glue pieces, and I've got 3.5 there, and just about 3.5 there. So I think before I do anything, I'm just going to go ahead and plane this whole thing down to the total thickness. Okay, so again, I need to look back at my plan, and one of these drawings is going to show me the thickness for the board. Don't just take a board and plane it down to any old thing. You actually need to get the thickness that it's called for. So on page 2, I can look at this side piece right here. So again, it's this piece. Looking at it from the right side, it's going to show me that it's 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay, so that's going to be the thickness right here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and plane this down to 3/4 of an inch. Before I do that, however, I'm going to get my scraper. We're going to scrape off all this glue so that I don't ruin my blades, and I'm also going to take off the sticker because I don't want that getting stuck in the planer. Okay, let's go get a scraper. And we're going to scrape this off. Okay, when I go to the planer, I'm also going to take my combination square with me, and I'm going to set this so that the shoulder is right at an inch mark, and I'm going to use this to check my thickness every pass through the planer. So right now we are just over 7/8 of an inch. All right, so I've got my measuring tool, got my board. I'm going to turn Jeffrey on. And to the planer we go. All right, take that up. That was something big. All right, so got it up to the bar there. We're going to go down 8 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and turn it on. And it's not plugged in. Okay, we're going to alternate sides, half a turn. right there. All right, now we need the joiner to make a couple passes there. Look at that. All right, so now we've actually cut a little bit past that line. I think for what we're doing, we're going to leave that glue joint in because this is just a practice piece. Okay, so now I've got 3 sides that are square, a face, and an edge. We're going to put this up against the table saw fence. Cut 3 3/8. Double check my measurement here. 3 3/8 right there on the fence, and we'll have our 2 side pieces to work from. Okay, over here I'm just going to use the scale right there to set 3 3/8. Got my push stick. Okay, and I want to work around this right here. I don't want those splits in my final product. So we're going to just kind of guess on this part. And then we'll reset the fence to 3 3/8. So I hope I left myself enough. All right, and I did not leave myself enough. So we're going to come back to this piece in a little bit. Okay, probably shouldn't have cut quite, well, yeah, I think we were going to have enough out of this board no matter what we did. Okay, so we're going to put these, this is going to go on my burn pile, this we can put in red oak and somebody else can use. And this piece here nobody's going to use, so we're just going to cut it and throw it in the burn pile. Okay, so normally I'd have all 4 of my pieces cut, but we're going to go ahead and start with this one right here. Okay, so I'm looking back at my drawing. We're going to make a front and a side piece. And notice there's 2 sets of dimensions. This is showing the lid dimensions. This is showing corner to corner is 9 inches and 5.5 inches. Okay, and we're going to take, I got that little chunk right there, and I've got some snipe from the planer right there, so I'm just going to make a mark right here. And I'm going to measure 9 inches from there. And to do that, I'm going to set my ruler on the 10. Measure 9 inches. Okay, and this will be the face of it. This will be the outside edge. It's actually going to miter back that way and that way. In fact, let's go ahead and use our combination square and mark that exactly. Okay, and I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room for a kerf. And the second one will be 5.5 inches. So 2 by 10 right on the line there, go to 5.5 or 15.5, depending on how you read it. mark my miters so that becomes the long edge. There, and there. Okay, now if we're doing this for real, I'd actually have 4 of these pieces, but this will work right now. And I can go ahead and write on this front. And we're going to put this as the right. Now let's make that left so that the grain's continuous. All right, we're going to go to the miter saw now, and we're going to cut our first 2 miters. Okay, when you get over here, if you've got sawdust built up, brush that away so we can get a good clean edge on the fence. And we're going to set our miter saw to 45 degrees. It locks in. I'm also going to lock this. I always like to hold back just a little bit on the first cut. Make a test cut. And look right in there. You can see that there's about a 1/16 of an inch off. So I'm going to creep that over just a little bit. Try again. Now something doesn't look right. See how it's not following that line? I'm going to double check. Make sure my bevel's locked in at 0 degrees. We're going to try that one more time. So that bevel is just a little bit off. That's why it's good to draw a line. Don't trust the machine. Okay, now we're going to flip the miter the other way. This last cut's going to be tricky because my hand's going to be close to the blade. We might have to get creative with that. There's one piece. It's just a tad long. Actually flip this over this way. Got good fence contact. I'd rather have you working with your hand on the open side of the blade rather than back behind the blade. Now, I don't know if you noticed or not, but this actually fell just a little bit. There's actually a little bit of a bump in here. We need to replace these pieces and figure out what's going on in there. But for now, we now have 2 pieces of our miter, and because I've marked them, I now know which way it goes up, and so it's going to go together like that. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do this. Make 2 more just like this, mark them back and right, and we'll pick up from there on our next video.